Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Week in Review. This is a video we do every week, and this is the part that people are skipping through because I say the same thing every week, so I'll say it differently this week. This is an index. I always say that. You know what? Let's just get started.
Hey everybody, I'm Garcia. Here's what I reviewed last week. So I reviewed Unchained, Universal Monsters Unchained, and I gave this one a 4 out of 10. This is, I thought, a very, very bad re-implementation of a previous game, deck building game, called Nightfall that came out from AEG many years ago. A very interesting thematic game with a cool werewolves versus vampires kind of vibe to the whole thing. Really neat setting and cool artwork and everything. The new one uses Universal Monsters as a theme, but it is chock full of symbology that is so hard to decipher. It's incredibly slow. It is way too drawn out. The whole thing seems to have been worked on and sort of developed, but now it just feels overwrought. There's a lot of steps to manipulate that are supposed to feel, I guess, more tactical, but they just end up being convoluted. And the game really is plodding. It's a very slow-going game. I reviewed, a few games together that I did with Tom. We did, a few games that you don't have to play, so we played them for you, and they're kind of a mixed bag. I have everything from a 6 in there down to a game I rated a 3. You just check out that video if you want to see that. And then I reviewed Leviathan Wild, which I loved, and I gave it a 9 out of 10. I think it's a wonderful boss battler kind of game. You shuffle up and make your own little deck of cards that represent your little guy and his profession, and then you climb up on this Leviathan and you help cure them of these crystals that are infecting them. Really neat stuff. Cards with powers and cooperative and all this cool jazz mixed up together. I like the vibe here. I like what's happening. I like mechanically. It's a bunch of little, very simple, very streamlined things that when you bring them together, give you a good amount of tactical choice. I think it has a lot of content in the box as well. You have 17 Leviathans. You have a lot of characters you can be. Lots of variety right out of the box, and they knocked that out of the park. So that is Leviathan Wilds. And that's it for me, everybody. I'll see you on the next one.
The place is here. The time is Chris time. Hello, it's Chris time. This week I took a look at 5 different reviews here. The first of which was Port Royal, the dice game. I give a 7.5. A fun push-your-luck dice system that feels a lot like the card game while feeling nothing like the card game. That is the quintessence of the review. Alexander Pfister did a good job with this one. Odd little ending, but neat game. Worth checking out if you like the card game and push-your-luck stuff in general. I also did 3 expansion reviews. The first one here was Trailblazers, the Sasquatch. I gave a 7.5. This is a hidden role game with pipeline-type puzzles. Trailblazers is a great game. I give it a much higher score. This one's odd. It's a difficult game mode for me to imagine getting to the table, but a fun one that works quite well, so 7.5. Draftosaurus, I took a look at the 2 expansions here. I gave one a 7 and the other 7.5. So, I would basically say they're both are right about the same. So 7.5 for Draftosaurus, Marina and Aerial Show. I prefer Marina of the 2 of these. They add special little dinosaurs in. They give you an extra little sideboard. They're a little clunky and a little expensive, but fun, and I still enjoy it. The last expansion was CoraQuest. Keep on questing. This expansion gets an 8 from me. It elevates the stuff that was in CoraQuest. It does a few things nicely. It creates a very simple campaign, but mostly it's more fun adventures I get to go on with my daughter. You don't have to play them as a campaign. If my kiddo just says, like, I don't want to fight the ice cream monster, we can just do that. It's a good way to do it. More CoraQuest, good stuff, an 8. And then lastly, Lunar Rush. I gave an 8. Lunar Rush is a fascinating logistics game about shipping things to the moon, mining stuff on the moon to bring back to Earth, and I really enjoyed this one. I was taken by surprise, actually, how smooth it is. It's broken into multiple phases, kind of like Dinosaur Island, but I think it does it a little bit smoother than that. So I like it. 8 from me for Lunar Rush, and that, folks, has been Chris time.
Hey everybody, I'm Joey Evans, and here's what I recorded this week. Or reviewed this week, I guess is the way to say it. Whatever. Anyway, here's what I did this week. Lunar Rush, I came down. It is a really cool kind of a Euro-style game that you are really shipping stuff to the moon and building a moon base up there. Really fun. I like the whole route it's got. I came in an 8.5 on this. This puzzle is great, so check out that review. Also, I did a video on different print and plays. My wife Alex and I looked at 3 print and plays. We did not rank them numerically, but we kind of showed you how they play and told you how excited we are to play each one. That way you can see if they are for you. And they were Flip Town, which was reviewed earlier in the channel. It was also Quest Over Coffee, which is a very interesting solo, but you can play it 2 people at a time game. And Roll & Fright has a set of 3 different Halloween-themed games. So those are the games that I reviewed this week.
Hi, I'm Wendy Yee, and I have one review this week, and that is Port Royale. I gave it a 7.5. And this is Port Royale, the dice game. Let me clarify. This is a roll and write game version of Port Royale. So it has that push your luck element to it, but then you have like 4 different maps that you can pick from, and you can then roll and write on those. I think there's some clever stuff going on with the roll and write. I like that there's a little bit of interaction, like there's certain treasures that people can race for. And then I especially like that push your luck element. It does look different than Port Royale, and in fact it takes up, I think, a bigger space, even though it's a roll and write, so it's a dice game, so it should be smaller. It takes up a little bit more table space. It's not a table hog in any way, but I find it to be an enjoyable game, so go ahead and check out that review if you're interested. Otherwise, let's go ahead and see who's next.
Don't forget, folks, if you want to see all the full reviews that we're talking about, we have links in the description below. We played a live play of Flames of Fafnir this week where we rolled marbles, or a dragon was shooting marbles down at us. That was a fun little game there, coming from Lucky Duck. We also did our top 10 boss battlers. We tried a different style this week because we had so much crossover, so we just picked one of the lists and then did some off. But it was a fun list to do. And speaking of that, one of those boss battlers we reviewed this week, Leviathan Wilds. I give it an 8 out of 10. I very much enjoy it. Nice box size, great art. Fun if you were looking for a Shadow of the Colossus board game. This is it. Find Finley, I reviewed that with the kids. Kind of not a Where's Waldo, but a deduction. I just wish the game was better. I gave it a 6. There's some interesting ideas. It's best played cooperatively. Lunar Rush, a game about rushing expensive materials to the moon and turning them into even more expensive ones. A good economic game that feels different than other things out there. 7.5. I also gave a 9 to the new World Wonders expansion. Adding more wonders, 9 wonders. I liked it a lot. Me and Z did 4 games we played, so you don't have to. We went through some games that we didn't think were particularly good. And then I reviewed a pile of cat games. Some good, some pretty terrible. I'll mention the best one of the lot, which is Way Too Many Cats. Very nice game from Weird Draft Games. I gave that one an 8 out of 10. Anyway, lots of stuff. We got even more coming your way next week. Or this week, I guess. It is a new week. Until then, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Week in Review on the Dice Tower.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us for that video. If you haven't yet, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, make sure you check out what's happening, where I'll cover an app on an iOS or a Switch device, and you can check it out along with me. Thanks very much. You've been watching The Dice Tower.